The crow says, "Here comes an airplane, squawk, squawk. Here comes an airplane, squawk, squawk. I'm going to peck your eyeballs out after you die, squawk, squawk." That's what the crow says. And crows are never wrong. Can you get these glasses on so I can see? Yeah, fuck it. Crows are always right. When they squawk out, the airplane's coming, the airplane's coming. I know the airplane's coming because my fingers are turning white and numb and hurting on their fingertips. My fingertips. But it's real mild right now. When it's real extreme, all of my fingers and my thumbs, corners of my elbows, my shoulders, my eyebrows, and the top of my head too, and I can no longer function. But it's perfectly normal, probably because, I drank too much Pepsi-Cola and smoked pot, right? Yeah, that's what did it. It messed me all up, right? That makes a lot of sense. Whatever. Circulation problems. I got poor circulation, right? That's why my finger is just vacuum sealing and itself, that's what it will do. It will begin to suck in. The skin will literally bow inward. And they'll all do that. That's what I was experiencing big time several years ago, which was on some of the videos. Hey, go back and check them out, right? So anyway. They couldn't spray today because there was real rain and real heavy laden moisture clouds that necessitate that the spray is just not going to work. It's all going to get washed out. And when it's that heavy of a rain clouds, they don't spray until the rain clouds are breaking up because they've got they're watching the patterns develop and they know when the rain's going to get rained out and it's just going to be cloudy, and that's when they'll start spraying, and you'll see a gap in the clouds and there'll be just a plane going across spraying it. But until that point, there's not. The air smells good. Wow. I guess pollution isn't a problem anymore up until tomorrow, right? Fuck. I'm out at Tad's property where I lived out here in my van for about a year. This place was all nice and clean, and his son and his son's wife are running a kind of a ministry helping homeless people, and they ended up having them come stay out here. And it got a little messy, I guess. At one point there was, like 15, 20 different homeless camps around the property, and they were just dragging stuff back here, and they're all tweaked out. And it's still a mess, but at least the people had to go somewhere else, eventually. It just wasn't going to work. Man. Coming out to work on my motorcycle. Dad isn't here yet. So anyway, airplane's still not here yet. Wow. I would have thought it would fly over already. I've been having the issues with my fingers like that, though, It's been a few years. You kind of see it sucked in on the top, right there. It sucks inward and turns white and feels like it's freezing cold. And it hurts like a motherfucker. It hurts a lot. Oh, it's getting worse. Okay, that means the plane's getting closer. Lovely, huh? Do I have little white lumps in my skin, little flecks? Because that's always lovely, too. Probably on top of my head I do. But we'll just let that go for now. I don't know. It almost seems pointless anymore to even bother making videos or talking about it. Nobody gives a shit. They either have resigned themselves to nihilism. Oh, everything sucks and we're all going to die now. Who cares? Or they're freaking don't believe it's happening. Oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Oh, I'm going to go to the doctor and get some pills because my disorder is perfectly normal. And the sickness I have, it's perfectly normal too. It's a natural thing. It's just the way life is. You should get used to it, you whiner. That's what, most people's attitude is. And then there's these people, I don't know if I know them. I see people driving around in cars that resemble these types of people, but, they're in their 20s and they're going to college or just finished college, and they're like, oh, I'm Joe Normal Guy, and I'm going to, start a business and or become a higher up in my company, and I'm going to buy a house and raise my children, and they're going to go to college, and everything's going to be the American dream. That's all I have to say to them is, psst, you're fucking retarded. Yeah, we're going to get sprayed with neurotoxins 24/7 and everything's going to be okay. Let's be afraid of a scary virus that came from China. Ooh, let's be afraid of the thing we heard about on TV, but ignore the thing that's happening directly over our heads all day, every day, that has been known for hundreds of years to cause all of the disorders that people are experiencing right now. Let's ignore that and pretend a scary virus is going to get us. A scary China virus is coming. Ooh, I'm so scared of the virus. I better get my mask right away for the scary virus. But the neurotoxins being sprayed by the megaton out of tanker jets on top of your house all day, every day, well, that's no. Well, wait, I digress. It's not all day, every day, because when the clouds are heavily laden with moisture to the point of heavy rain, they don't spray it. Oh, the air smells good and everything's all wet. It's a mess out here, but it's all wet. But yeah. If it weren't for that, they'd be sprayed out. They've sprayed it out every day for the last week. I was up in Port Orchard. I stayed on my boat all day. I got up at about 3 in the afternoon. I finally opened the hatch and looked out. It was just laden. Yep. And there's no point in going outside and breathing that shit unless I want to feel worse than I do already. Oh, but if I had to go to work, which would be nice if I could, If I had to take care of kids right now, if I had to do that stuff, I'd be fucked. Go out there and poison yourself. Yep, get out there and get that poison. Cold out there. Breathe up your poison gas, everybody. It's good for you. That's what's going on. It's perfectly normal. There's a virus, a scary virus. It could have been man-made. It could have been natural. Maybe it came from the ocean because of man-made global warming causing the ice caps to recede, and that's going to allow these things like Ebola to come alive down in layers of the ocean, and then they'll come up into the air and become active and kill off the human race. Oh, it's all perfectly natural. It's all perfectly normal. Because God makes crap and doesn't know what he's doing, right? We need doctors to come up with special vaccines to save us from the terrible crap that we're causing ourselves. And they get people to believe that shit while they spray neurotoxins on top of them and they pretend that that's not happening. Let's pretend we're not being sprayed with neurotoxins. Uh-oh, I set off the alarm. The AI's listening. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's just the key was in the ignition, but I digress. It just started beeping right now, though. Does that mean the plane's here? It does. It started beeping to let me know the plane was here. Aren't synchronicities just so odd? Wow. See, because I was just rambling on and on about nonsensical nothingness that doesn't exist. You see, and I was being so loud I wouldn't have heard the airplane coming. But luckily, the wheel of Karma Dharma decided to set off my jingler told me my keys were in the ignition so that I wouldn't miss the plane. Hey, I knew the plane was coming. Just on the other side of the clouds. What a beautiful day to fly my airplane. Slowly at low elevation, just on the other side of the clouds, right over your house. See the white stripes? Ooh, isn't that lovely? Happens whenever the more planes that fly over me, the more white my fingers become. Until they're non-functional and I can't do anything with my hands. Isn't that neat? That's super neat. Thanks, Uncle Sam. You're so cool. Welcome to freedom. Would you like fries with that? Woohoo! It's a beautiful day to fly the airplane, right? Slowly, over your house at low elevation, repeatedly, over and over. It makes a lot of sense because it's good for the economy, you see. The jobs of the future are in the rapidly expanding hospice care industry. Get your training today. Chemotherapy technicians are desperately needed at children's cancer hospitals nationwide. Boy, it's a bright future for chemotechs. Get your training today. You can get a degree in our triple program. Prison officer, chemotherapy tech, and hospice care worker. All in the same degree. You'll be set for the jobs of the future. The jobs of the future are in cancer treatments and hospice care. Don't forget that. It's important to be ahead of the curve when it comes to your career. But I digress. This is a little axe I'm working on. See, I'm thinking about making a a play, and the play's going to have a plot of there's a big conspiracy going on, you see, where the leaders of the world and the militaries are trying to, off everybody slowly till they get to the size of population they want. I'll even put in there something similar to like the Georgia Guidestones, where they chisel into marble in every language in the world that they're going to reduce the world population to 500 million people, and they run all of the militaries and all of the major corporations and all of the entities. All of the trusted institutions are ran by this unnamed cabal. And they are developing, high-tech modern weaponry based on electronics in order to carry out their plans. Because, the target doesn't need to know they're targeted. As long as they don't know they're targeted, they think everything's just natural. Oh, it's just the way it is. What can we do about it? Nothing going on here. Nope, it's all perfectly normal. But, see, unbeknownst to them is this evil cabal will be using poison gases and electrical weapons to thin the population, to cull the herd, so to speak. Because the world's overpopulated, you see. There's not enough room in all of these mountains and prairies and fields for the people that are here. Or something like that. Well, really, I think that the story should be that there's too many people in cities, because they're not spread out. And like when you're loading a trailer, if you take all of your stuff and you put it in one little spot on the trailer, it's going to cause problems with your axles and your wheels and the way it goes down the road, because everything's weight is in one spot. But if you load it evenly, it can support it just fine. The earth is the same way. You put all the people chasing money herded into these little pens called cities, and then you flip on the 5G and you get rid of them all at once. That's really the goal. But if these people didn't herd into cities chasing money, trying to, work for their money so they can buy food, because who needs to grow food? You can buy it at the store. That's stupid. Who would go try and get a job that doesn't pay very much growing food in a rural area? I mean, that's just dumb as can be. Right? Whatever. Okay, there's my story. I'm sticking to it. I can't keep it up anymore, but vacuum sealed fingers again. I love that shit. It's working its way onto this one a little more now. And this one, check out my ring finger. Vacuum. That one, there it is. Vacuum sealed. Turning white, can't feel them. Vacuum sealed. Knuckles hurting. Check. Ears ringing. It's that tinnitus. It's because I listened to the rap music in my Walkman in the 80s so loud that it messed up my ears, and now I have tinnitus, right? Or are my crazy conspiracies true? Ooh. Yes, nobody ever thought of that. What if the conspiracy theorists were right? Holy crap. No, it's impossible that a small group of, let's call them people, who have all of the money in the world and control all of the world's military, which does all of the research into all of the highly technical fields, because we wouldn't have anything if it weren't for wars, you see. All the great developments have happened during wars. Let's go have some wars. Everybody loves a good old-fashioned war, don't they? Yay for America. We win. We're number one. We're number one. USA is number one. Let's chant. We're number one. Remember that after 9/11, you'd have people chanting USA, USA, USA. If anybody was trying to talk about, hey, the story they're giving us is bullshit, the Republican sides would come out chanting USA, USA, USA. The Democrats, well, they all pick their issues. They're both pieces of shit, though. Democrats or reptilicans. Which would you rather be ruled by? Well, I'm going to go vote for blah, blah, blah. Well, that's great. You know what voting is? Voting equals consent. When you sign your voter slip, you're consenting to go along with the outcome of the election and the people that are elected to make the decisions of what's going to happen for us. You're consenting to it. So if you really want to blame a group of identifiable people for the shit situation that our nation is in right now, you need to blame the voters and the pro-military people too, because they're a bunch of fucking stupid douchebags. You can go fuck yourself if you're in the military. Jesus fucking Christ, you're a retarded piece of shit. Wake the fuck up. But I digress. The voters voted these fuckers in. Every time you vote, you consent to what they're doing. No plane yet. Think about it. Duh. Anyway, so yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I have no choice but to stick to it. It's basically taken me out of everything else I'm trying to do. I used to be self-employed small business owner. Not anymore. You can't function with a year-long headache and tinnitus continuously, and your fingers vacuum sealing and your joints swollen to the point that you can barely move. And I'm not going to go get on some doctor pills so that I can not feel anything and force my body to go through the motions anyway, so I can be a wastoid zombie fuck like everybody else seems to be. You know, that reminds me of a story. I thought I was done, but I have a short story.